my God, I can't believe it.
Put on the screen!
Oh, okay. All praise. So, all right, the title is When Parents Don't Parent, the World Will. So, what this title is going into, oftentimes in this truth, we see it. Leadership gives warnings to our brothers and sisters in this truth, the things to avoid when parenting. But what we still see day after day, week after week, is parents not listening to the counsel.
Come on!
Like, for example, the bishop put out, children should not be on roadblocks. Guess what we see on the Sabbath? The security walk around, still see children on roadblocks. Unsupervised. Or, for example, the kids getting on your nerves at home, you give them a tablet for 8 hours out of the day. You could have sent them to public school for that. So anyways, we're going to get right into it. I want to start off with some definitions real quick. I want the definition for nurture and child neglect. All right, read that.
Nurture. Care for and encourage the growth or development of.
All right, read it again for me.
Nurture. Care for and encourage the growth or development of.
It says to care for and encourage the growth or development of. Let's get some synonyms.
Synonyms. Bring up. Take care of. Look after. Rear. Support. Raise. Foster. Parent. Mother.
Parent.
Tend.
It says parent, mother, tend, like tend to, read.
Feed. Nourish. Preventer. Encourage. Promote. Stimulate. Develop. Cultivate.
Cultivate. Right. So these are similar. These synonyms of nurture. So these are the things what as parents we're supposed to do. We're supposed to nourish our children in God's commandments, right? Bring them up in God's laws. But oftentimes we do the opposite. Let's get the opposite real quick.
Hey, also,
what's up?
Even with the definition you got, it say development of. So when they put their children in front of them roadblocks or they put their children in front of them TVs all day, something is nurturing them,
right?
But it's not the parents,
right? You're right. All right, so let's get some of this. Let's get like the first paragraph because it says child neglect. Because a lot of times when we hear child neglect, we think it's just not feeding the child, stuff of that nature, right? That's one of them because you got to feed your child, right? But a lot of parents, they fall into this category here, especially brothers and sisters in the truth. Read that.
Child neglect. Child neglect is an act of caregivers.
So it's an act of a caregiver. It's an action of a caregiver, right? Read the parentheses.
Parents,
right?
That results in depriving a child of their basic needs, such as the failure to provide adequate nutrition, supervision, health care, clothing, or housing.
Right. So most parents, they provide food, health. You know, you take your kids to the dentist, the doctor, whatever. It says clothing or housing. So the children, they're getting that, right? But keep reading.
As well as their physical, emotional, social, educational, and safety needs.
But they fail to do this part. The physical, the emotional, the social, and the education and safety needs. That's what a lot of parents fail to do. So they will fall into the category of child neglect. I'm going to give you some examples. So if you are constantly giving your children the tablet, you allow them to be on the Facebook, the TikTok, the social media all day long, you will fall into child neglect. You allow your children to constantly walk around with these earbuds in, listen to ungodly music, because that's what they're listening to. Why they can't just put it on the TV and play it out loud for everybody? All right. Now let's go to my first video. So we're going to touch into this right here, unless one of y'all also has something on this. No? Okay, all praise. Go to the bottom left with the Edomite. Right. Let's start off right there. Yep. Got a lot of videos.
Come on.
All right, read that.
Roblox nightmare, but reality.
All right, so let's see the dangers of this Roblox. All right, so a lot of these, like this guy here, he was Secret Service for a while, and he giving his intake on Roblox. All right, let's see what he did. Let's go.
I played Roblox for an hour just to mess with it. I registered and told it I was 8. Firstly, it set my content restriction levels to medium. I told it I was born in April of 2017. And it started me off with medium, which was like blood, fear, crude humor, and something else. And then I connected it to a parent account. I wanted to see what the parental controls were like. So I applied all the parental controls. I turned the thing down to mild, which was the lowest one, which still had like blood, fear, and some other stuff. And I, with full parental control restrictions, I encountered the sexualization of young girls in a game called...
I don't want y'all to miss what he said. He said he created an account. He told the account that he was 8 years old. And he set the parental restrictions on medium. So keep that in mind. This is Roblox. He set the parental restrictions on medium. All right. And he said that he signed up as an 8-year-old. All right, let's play.
To Impress, which is the number 2 game that comes up in this big box at the top of the screen when you first start playing. It's like one of the primary games they want you to play. I told it I was an 8-year-old boy. It turned me into a young girl wearing underwear where I could go dress up and then other people could vote on how good I look. Like, that's the game. And then I went to a game called, I think it was called Rob Mom. And it starts you off in a room, and there's a big sign on the wall that says, the richest person is so-and-so, like, go rob them. And then I walked down the street, there was an Apple store and like a Subway sandwiches. And I went into the Apple store and robbed the Apple store employees. And then the cops came after me and I shot the cops. And then I went into some neighborhood after that. And some character came along and picked me up and carried me into their house and then dressed up as a cop and then shot me in the back. I told it I was 8. Like, and I was playing in some of these worlds that are not meant to be creepy worlds. Oh, and then I played a game called Public Bathroom. And I walked into this giant area where there's like a swimming pool with beds around the perimeter of the thing, with multiple people on the beds like humping each other. And then I walked into this like public bathroom thing.
On the game, he created himself as an 8-year-old child. He said he was an 8-year-old boy. It turned him to an 8-year-old little girl. Keep in mind. Read that. Play that.
Where you can go in and out of the bathroom stalls together. And then the next room had bathtubs with a bunch of people in them together where you could close the what do you call it? Not the shade. The slider door? Whatever. Divider. The cover, to like have privacy in the bathtub, and they're all like humping stuff in there and like I don't know, man. I have a hard, these guys could, for example, offer a whitelist feature to parents the way that YouTube Kids does. They have a whitelist feature, which means that the parent can pre-select which content, which games, which stuff could be accessed. Like, there's very basic things that Roblox is not doing, which I find very bothersome.
So this is what's going on when you allow your children to play that Roblox. All right? Real quick, get Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 4 real quick. Ephesians 6 and 4.
Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 4.
Uh-huh.
And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord.
It says we must bring our children up in the nurture and the admonition of the Lord. When you allow your children to play Roblox, you're not nurturing your child. You allow Esau and his devices to nurture your children, right? Jump down to verse 11.
Verse 11. Put on the whole armor of God.
So we're supposed to be putting on the whole armor of God. We're supposed to be teaching our children God's commandments as we're learning God's commandments. Read.
Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
It says that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. It's no way in the world your children are going to be able to withstand the wiles of the devil if you allow them to feed a spirit with this evil at such young age. Because as parents, it's already hard enough for parents to stay off the rated R websites, the TikTok watching videos that they don't need to be watching. It's already hard enough for children. For parents. So you think that you allowing your children to watch and play these video games and these PC games, that they're going to be able to stand against the wiles of the devil? Absolutely not. So you're doing your child a disservice, and you're not nurturing them in the laws of God. You was about to say something?
Yeah, you know what? Just off of what you said too, the wiles of the devil. The problem is our people don't know who the devil is.
Right.
That's what it is. You all out there waiting for a guy with some all in red with some horns,
right,
walking around with a pitchfork waiting to poke you. You don't realize that the devil is that white man that established the school system, the Board of Education.
Right.
What else is out there? The music industry,
yep,
which is run by the so-called white man, the Jewish man, right, or Amalek. Right? These are the people that are out here that create all of these different evils. So when it's talking about being wild by the devil, that's who it's talking about.
Right.
It's talking about the white man.
Right. Hey, and also, with you saying that, it's so much evil going on. We got a lot of videos. It's so much evil going on in the world, but us as parents, we're our children's defense. But a lot of parents are not protecting their children. They just allow them to go head into sin, right? For example, let's go to the one. Let's go to the one with the public school. This is another, because you said the school system, right? Let's go into that. Let's go into the child at the school. Yep, public school. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on in the public school. Play that. And this is Esau telling you that he cannot send his kids to public school. Let's see. Play that.
I cannot imagine sending my kids to public school. I went to public school. It's being used as a weapon to intoxicate our children with their ideologies and their ideas and their truths. It's throwing our culture upside down. I highly, highly challenge and doubt that people that are sending their kids to public schools even really know their children. They're spending so much time away at work, separated from their kids. They come home, they do homework, they check out, they go on the computer, they're on their iPads, they go to bed and they do it again. I don't think that that's the way that we were supposed to do this.
Yeah.
When did the public school systems get implemented? And education can be an amazing tool. But the idea that we're kind of sending our kids off, expecting the world to raise them and then come back the right way.
I have a friend, his name's Dean, and he gave me kind of an analogy because I was asking him about how he raised his daughters, and he did it as a single dad. He said, well, picture your kids like this. He said, if you put $1 billion in a clear plastic bag, where are you going to put that? You can't put it anywhere. Right next to you. That's where it goes, and that's where your kids should be.
You see that? That's a bad behind analogy there.
Come on.
He said if you had $1 billion put into a clear backpack, where can you put that backpack to keep it safe? Nowhere. He said right beside you. So that's where your kids should be.
Right.
And that's the thing. The nations understand that, but us as a people, we still fail to understand that. Right. We cannot trust or rely on the white man to raise our children, because when you give them Roblox, when you give them that Xbox, when you give them that PlayStation, you give them Snapchat, you give them all these devices of Satan, guess what? You allow Satan to have your child.
Right.
You was about to say something?
No, I'm just saying, even Satan himself, the devil himself just came out and told you that they're not going to send their kids there.
Right.
They will allow us to send our kids there, and they'll be there. They'll be the main ones that'll be the educators, educate them. And when I say them, I'm talking about his people.
Right.
Will be the ones there educating our children. Meanwhile, their children are at home, away from all of the foolishness.
Yeah, I was going to say too, officer, is that if you think about it, majority, unless you had, of course, the things that your parents did, but majority of your bad habits come from when you was at school.
Right.
A lot of the stuff you picked up, as far as when you was the push to make you feel like you had to talk to a bunch of girls, you had to have a bunch of relationships, pornography, drugs, all these different forms of gangs and stuff like that to be accepted, even going as far as begging your parents to buy you the most expensive clothes and shoes.
That's it right there.
All of that come from when you was in school.
Hey, my kids is happy when they go to Walmart. When I go to Walmart, I come back with them fresh Shaquille O'Neals.
Bobos.
Boy, they in the game. Hey, they happy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, when
Hey, they think, hey, I come home. Daddy, mommy bought me some new shoes. I said, let me see them things. Ooh, the things clean. The Walmart specials.
Walmart specials.
The Walmart specials. They get delivered right to the door.
Hey, don't let the mugs light up. You in the game then. They got to light up. They walking around showing the hope. You wore them, but when I wore them in school,
boy,
I mean, I was roasted so bad, my shoes melted. That's how bad I got roasted.
it's true, bro. It's true.
So let's go to the lady in the red dress. Let's see what your children is learning in those school systems. We're going to watch a couple of these videos, then we're going to get into the scriptures. But I just want y'all to really understand what's going on in these school systems. Bishop been telling us, the leadership been telling us for years, right. You better pull your kids out of those public schools, even the private schools. The schools that's not governing God's commandments, your kids shouldn't even be in them.
Right.
Because they're not learning nothing for their betterment, but for the destruction. Play that.
Hit the bomb!
I do not want my children to learn about anal sex in middle school.
This woman went on a rant about anal sex at a school board meeting.
Take her out back, we boys figured, then
hold on.
hand...
So she's reading a book that's in the school's library. All right?
On the titties, put it in her coin box, put it in her cornhole, grab a hold of that braid, rub that calico. You can find that on page 39 of the book called Out of Darkness, which you can find at Hudson Bend Middle School and Bee Cave Middle School. All right, not gonna lie, I had to Google cornhole because I have the game in the back of my yard. But according to Wikipedia, cornhole is a sexualist slang vulgarism for anus. Its verb form to cornhole, which came into usage in the 1930s, means to have anal sex.
The school board meeting was held to discuss COVID-19 and the district's finances. However, during the public comments portion, Kara Bell took to the podium to discuss the book Out of Darkness by Ashley Hope Perez.
I do not want my children to learn about anal sex.
You can drop that one.
Anytime Esau put the glass on the hair like that,
you already know it's going to get real. Right. Drop that one. All right, go to the next one. Go to the next one with the school, the girl in the school. Yes. The one with, nope. Go top right. What's that one in the top right? Yep. Is that the one with school? Yeah, that one right there. Yes, sir. That's it. So let's see so we see that they have books in the public school teaching children about sex, but, sodomy, right? Watch this.
Sex in the school bathroom. Lee County Sheriff's investigators looking into a report of a 15-year-old girl at South Fort Myers High School having sex with about 24 boys.
Shock, disbelief, concern, sad.
4 words that come to mind when Eric Struble, a father of 2 15-year-old girls, hears what's in this incident report. It says a 15-year-old South Fort Myers High School girl admitted to having sex with multiple male students in the bathroom at the school. The report saying 25 male students were identified going inside the bathroom during the time frame the girl was inside. Students say it happened in the main bathroom on the 2nd floor. 18-year-old Patislin Cato goes to South Fort Myers High School. He says everyone at school has been talking about the incident. What's more shocking?
I heard a video was around, but never really saw it or anything.
But the student said some of the videos were saved. The incident happened after school hours, but Struble says parents still should have been told. Now, a school district spokesperson tells me no one has been arrested, but the students involved are being disciplined.
He got the video on his phone.
He most definitely got the video. So this is another example of what's going on in those schools. All right. So let's go to.
Bro, but we just can't run past that. Bro.
Also, go ahead.
Bro, this is crazy. So you telling me, so you go against the counsel that leadership give you. You send your daughter out to school.
Yep.
And then find out that 25 Negroes done ran up in your daughter. One shot.
And she 15 years old.
What anybody gonna be able to, what can you do with that?
Not one shot, 25 shots.
Yeah, like what can you do after that? You know what I'm saying? You guys got to think about this because it may sound foreign to you because I'm gonna tell you, in your face here, they will shalom, shalom, Most High in Christ bless, right? Everything all good in Jesus until they leave out and they there. Some of them got change of clothes in their bag. Some of them go to gym class first and then they change their clothes. You don't know what's going on in that school. You know what I'm saying? So these are valuable points that officers bringing out with these videos showing you that guess what? That father, he didn't know that his daughter was going to go in there and get ran through by 25 Negroes in one day.
Nope.
Right? But the reality is that's what the heck happened.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to put things in place to protect your children. You know what I'm saying? And leadership, just like Officer said, been saying this for years, over and over. Take your kids out of the school system. Take your kids out of the school system. And then next thing you know, you get a story like this and they gone. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully brothers and sisters take heed, officer.
Yes,
real.
sir.
Hey, also, I was going to say, too, it's only when you send your children to school, it's like the whole point is, like you said, I'm pretty sure he didn't say, yeah, let me send my daughter over here so she can ran through by 25 Negroes at one time. That's just the best school they got good grades and stuff. I know he ain't think that, but when you send your children to the school, it's the same way these parents, even in the body, be treating that Roblox game.
Yep.
Right.
They hear all the stuff that's happening.
Right.
And they assume, it ain't not my baby.
Right.
My baby know better. I'm not going to let them do nothing like that.
Yes.
I'm not going to let nobody scoop them
Yes.
up. But you don't realize that evil communication is teaching your children bad manners.
Yep. And we're going to go right into that. Say, hey, Roblox number 2, and then we're going to get into the scriptures, right? Roblox 2, right there. Right there. Boom. So we went into the things that's being brought out in the school system. I just really want to home in on this Roblox because it came back up like last week? You know, it was kids still playing Roblox. And it's the thing, like that game there is so evil. And the dangers of that game is it's teaching your children things that adults do. Also, it leaves a gateway for rapists, what they call them, predators, and they also, I learned it, groomers. That's a new term I learned. A groomer. You have these sick people out there that's grooming your child to do sexual things, to run away from home, stuff of that nature. Damn. And yeah, you got groomers out there. And watch, this is a perfect video for it. Watch this.
A little girl, just 11 years old, just turned 11, kidnapped by a grown man she meets online playing Roblox. My son plays Roblox. All over the world, tweens and teens play Roblox. How in the hay did he get his mitts on an 11-year-old girl, a grown man? Number one, what is he doing playing Roblox? Shouldn't he have a job? But number two, is he chatting this little girl up online and luring her? Well, it worked because he kidnapped her. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here on Crime Stories and on Sirius XM 111. First of all, how did it go down? Listen.
It was an odd and early start to the school day. An 11-year-old girl's brother thinks his sister is leaving for school early. It's around 5:30 in the morning. But then the boy realized it was Sunday. He calls his mother, who is working overnights. Mom comes home, calls the Wayne Police Department.
Interesting. Very interesting. So this is a Sunday. He thinks it's a school day. And at 5:30 a.m., the little sister is already gone. And this boy, the brother, of course, calls mommy. Little did they know that Sunday morning at 5:30 a.m. what was about to unfold. Joining me, an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now. But Alexis Tereszczuk, first to you, crimeonline.com investigative reporter. Alexis, tell me about where the little girl lives. I know it's in New Jersey.
That's good. So the point I want to make is if you continue to watch the video, the groomer used the little girl's IP address to find out where she stayed and picked her up. That's how he get it. Like, so you got all these websites, all these apps like TikTok is one of them. CapCut is one of them. What is it called? Snapchat is they said Snapchat is the most dangerous app out there. Because what it does is it has an open IP address that gives people direct the access to your house. They know exactly where you live at.
Damn.
And they don't build the programs to have like safety features to keep spyware, stuff of that nature to keep people from finding out where you live. They don't, and they're not going to put it on there because it's for pedophiles. These websites was created for pedophiles to be able to get your children. That your simple behind continue to allow them to watch and play.
Hell no.
So, go. What you want to say?
No, I was gonna say also the point is because a lot of people think like when we was young we had like Grand Theft Auto, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Roblox is made directly for children of young ages.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? When you was like Grand Theft Auto, your mom and them had to go buy that. You couldn't go in the store and get Grand Theft Auto or stuff like that. It had a parental advisory on it. You couldn't really get that. But now they getting these like the guy in the first video said, these games that's created for kids but 8 and down, and you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. From young ages. And then he said even when he put it on medium, it still had things like fear things in it, blood, and crude humor and stuff like that.
Right. Let's get Sirach chapter 11 verse 28 real quick. Sirach 11:28. Because a lot of times when these children do all this wicked stuff, I'm talking about especially here in the body, you really got to look and examine yourself like, dang, am I doing my job as a parent to teach my children? A lot of y'all parents are not. You let your children just run around. You let them do whatever. You let them go to all these sleepovers with their wicked family, your wicked cousins and this and that. Then they bring that stuff back to the body.
Right.
Or it comes from you directly not teaching your children. You giving them that iPad. You give them that tablet and say, get out my face. Or you allow them to go to that public school because you're too lazy to teach your children. Because a lot of you sisters be at home. You don't got no job. Even if you got a job. My wife got a job, but she still homeschool. These wives got jobs, but they still homeschool. Come on. Mm-hmm. It's just that a lot of you sisters have become too lazy. And a lot of you brothers too weak to tell your wife to homeschool your children. Read.
Sirach chapter 11 verse 28. Judge none blessed before his death. For a man shall be known in his children.
It says a man shall be known in his children. So if your children are like, you can't, they won't sit down. They always getting into some mess. You got to examine yourself and be like, dang, am I doing my job as a parent? Am I teaching my child God's commandments? And a lot of you brothers and sisters, when you really ask yourself that question, the answer is going to be no, I'm not doing my job. Social media is raising my child. Facebook is raising my child. The Xbox is raising my child. But as parents, we are instructed to teach our children. All right? Let's get, are you about to say something, officer?
Yeah, just off of what you said, because go to Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 7 real quick. Just the point that you made is because it's important for us to make sure that we teach the children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We teach them God's laws, God's commandments, because I've seen it. You know, there's some brothers and sisters, you talk to their children, and their children, it's not that their children are not intelligent or not smart.
Right.
It's just they don't spend the time teaching them about the laws of God.
Right.
But you put a tablet, you put anything else in front of them, they call things off very quickly. You know what I'm saying? We have to take the same amount of energy and putting into the children so that they can receive God's law so that they can be successful. And when we talk about success, we don't give a damn if they become a lawyer or a doctor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm so much past that. To hell with being a doctor or a lawyer. We want to know that we bringing up righteous children that's keeping the laws of God. That's what it is. Whether they be a doctor, that'll be great. Or they be a scientist, that's great. But the first and foremost, it's got to be that they're keeping God's laws. Read that.
Right.
Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 7. The just man walketh in his integrity. His children are blessed after him.
So the just man, guess what the just man is going to do? The just man is going to make sure that his children is growing up in God's laws, that they're being taught, that they're being implemented, that the wife has a clear instruction on what she should be teaching those children. He going to go back and back check because he's going to ask the children questions and find out if they're really truly being taught the laws of God. You know what I'm saying? That's what. And then when you have those children and you implement that, guess what? The Bible says, read that second half.
His children are blessed after him.
That's when your children going to be blessed. They're going to understand how to operate in God's laws. They're going to move in God's laws. And guess what? We're going to come out of this dilapidated state as a nation of people because the other nations are going to look at us and say, wow, what a wise and understanding people this is. But we got to implement these first steps right here, man. We got to follow the instructions that the leadership putting out.
Yep, all praise. Get Deuteronomy chapter 6. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 6 real quick. Hey, better yet, hold on. Get Proverbs 29 and verse 15. Proverbs 29 and 15. I know we got a lot of scriptures to go through, but I know we probably won't because we're a little short for time, but all praise. Read that.
Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 15. The rod and reproof giveth wisdom.
It says the rod and reproof. You read it again?
The rod and reproof give wisdom.
So you have to, it says the rod and reproof. I had a video, right? I just explain it. So it's a thing they call tablet or tablet withdrawal. Or screen withdrawal. When you take your tablet or something from a child and they start to have like a panic attack, or it's like a person, you take drugs from a person, they start to have a panic attack. So that's what you see with these children. Because when it happens, guess what the parents not doing? They're not using that rod of correction. They're not checking their child on that behavior. We ain't gonna get it because it's we short for time. But read it again.
The rod and reproof give wisdom.
It says the rod and reproof give wisdom. Read.
But a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame.
So it says a child left to himself bringeth his mother and his father to shame. And that's what you see a lot of times. You see these children left to themselves with the social media, with the video games, with the public school. You think about it. The children go to school 8 hours of the day, right? Something like that? Is it? No, it's a little longer than that, right?
It's about 8 hours.
8 hours a day.
Yeah, it depends. 8 to 10 hours.
8 to 10 hours a day. They come home, they do their homework. And then you give them a tablet until 10 o'clock. You ain't spending no time with your child all day. Right. And guess what? They do it over again. And now your son and your daughter, they in the bath. Your daughter in the bathroom get banged by 25 dudes and you don't know why.
Damn.
That's because you left your child to herself. You left your son to himself, right? All right. Go to Sirach chapter 11. Nope. You was about to say something also?
I was going to say that's the reason why a lot of these children are socially awkward.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how to deal with people because they're just stuck in the virtual world. Right. They're just playing games. They don't know how to socialize. They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to deal with issues or situations. If you take the tablet or the game from them, you can tell if that's your child. Take the tablet and the game from them. Don't give them no electronics for one day. And I bet you your children sit around looking like they don't know what to do with themselves.
Right.
And then when they amongst other children outside of the truth, they look like zombies. Then people talking to you like, oh, it's because you have your kids isolated in that cult. That's the reason why they like that. No, It's because you do poor parenting. Because guess what? My kids, they don't have no problem socializing. They always want to tell you, oh, if you take them out of public school, they have a problem socializing. No.
Right.
If you teach them properly, they ain't gonna have no issue socializing.
Yep.
And if you interact with the other brothers and sisters that are homeschooling as well, you guys plan and coordinate together and go take the children on field trips. Come on! Coordinate with the local fire department and take them to a field trip to the fire department. Come on! When you guys are doing different assignments, they work collectively.
Right.
Guess what? They won't be isolated by themselves. They won't be socially awkward. But if you send them to school and they come home and then all they do is on the tablet, they're gonna be socially awkward.
Right. That's called poor nourishing. That's called child neglect. Get Sirach chapter 22 and verse 6. Verse 3. Sirach 22 and verse 3. Yep, Sirach 22 and verse 3. Because this is how a lot of you brothers and sisters raise your children. Read that.
Sirach chapter 22 and verse 3. An evil-nurtured son is the dishonor of his father.
It says an evil-nurtured son is a dishonor to his father. Guess, like Augusta said, if you're not teaching them, somebody teaching them. Somebody is nourishing your child, whether it be with evil or whether it be with the commandments, right? Read it again.
An evil-nurtured son is the dishonor of his father that begot him.
It says an evil-nurtured son is a dishonor of his father that begot him, because you're allowing the outside world nourish your child, with whether it be evil music, whether it be the social media, the Facebook, the TikTok. That's who nourishing your child. So when that child bring you a dishonor, you can't blame nobody but yourself. When you don't pull your kids out of those public schools, you can't blame nobody but yourself, because you allow evil to nourish your child, right? So let's get Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 1. Let's start there, because let's see how you're supposed to nourish your child according to the Bible. All right? We're going to skip through all that else, unless y'all had something. Yeah, Deuteronomy 6 and verse 1.
Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 1. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments, which the Lord your God command to teach you, that you might do them in the land whither you go to possess it.
We're John to verse 6.
Verse 6. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children.
So first, the commandments of God got to be in your heart, so you can teach them to your children. You could teach them to your children. You could teach your children right from wrong, right? Read.
And shall talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way.
So when you teach your children, you don't got to sit down and do a 2-hour class. You don't have to do that. It could be when you're at the dinner table. You could teach them about something you've seen today. You'd be like, hey, you talk to your daughters or your sons. Hey, you seen that woman that dress was dressed inappropriately? That's not how you dress according to the Bible. Give them scripture. Show them what God says versus what they see in the world. That's how you teach your children. Read.
And when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up.
So when you get ready to lay your children down, you send your prayers up, stuff of that nature, and also you teach them the history about their forefathers. Come on! We got plenty of avenues out there you can occupy your children's mind with outside of that tablet. You could IUIC watch and read. You could go 15 minutes with a captain. You can teach your children in so many different ways, but a lot of you refuse to and allow Satan and all his devices to teach your children. But we got to start teaching our children according to the Bible. Get Deuteronomy 11 and verse 19. Is it 11 and 19? Yeah, that's it.
Deuteronomy chapter 11 and verse 19. And ye shall teach them your children, speaking of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up, and thou shalt write them upon the doorposts of thine house and upon thy gates.
So listen, if you brothers and sisters don't have the 10 Commandments posted in your house, guess what you need to do? You need to post the 10 Commandment posters in your house. You need to have biblical images of the prophets, of Christ, of the Most High in your house. That's another way you teach your children. Because when they go to the school, guess what Esau have posted up in those schools? They have the Pledge of Allegiance, They have the American flag. They have the founding father, the so-called founding fathers. And they're learning that. But you at home, you don't have nothing that's teaching your children God's commandments. Nothing posted. Like when it's time for the feast, like right now, the Feast of Dedication, decorate your house. Decorate your house. But a lot of you brothers and sisters are still playing games. And when your children say, hey, you know what? I want to go celebrate Christmas with grandma or Thanksgiving with granddaddy. You wonder why. It's because you're not doing your part at home. All right? Also, you want to say something?
Yeah, I know you got a lot of time.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
Go to Psalm 78 and verse 1. Oh, you was over there? Go ahead.
Yeah, go to Psalm 78. Go to Psalm 78. Yeah, read that real quick. Yeah, I know we push for time. Psalm 78.
Psalms,
time go by
chapter
fast.
78 and verse 1.
Start at verse 5.
Verse 5. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children.
We should make them known to who?
Their children.
So we got to make God's commandments known to our children. In order for us to make the commandments known to our children, we ourselves must be studying. We must ourselves be reading to be able to make them known to our children. Because if you are not making it known to yourself, you can't teach nobody. You can't teach your children. Read.
That the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children.
So it says that the generation, read that part again.
Even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children.
So it says you should teach your children so that when their children are born, they can rise up and teach their children. So it's a cycle. We learn God's commandments. We teach them to our children teach them to their children, and that's how you restore righteousness back on the earth. Read.
That they may set their hope in God and not forget the works of God.
So that's what happens. That's what you're seeing right now. Because the people out on the outside, they're not able to show the goodness of God. They only can feed them a lie, which they learn in church. The pastor teach your mama come home and teach you, and you grow up on a lie. And it stops there. It's no truth being spread through your children because they're learning lies, right? So, but with us, we got to be that light. We got to be able to teach our children, and our children going to teach their children, and their children going to teach their children, and that's how we restore righteousness back on this earth. Right? Read.
But keep his commandments, and might not be as their fathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation.
And that's what we don't want. We don't want to be as our fathers, our forefathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation. Read.
A generation that set not their heart aright, and whose spirit was not steadfast with God.
And that's what we don't want, because get Proverbs 22 and 16. Proverbs 22 and 6. Because that's what we don't want. We don't want to just learn this word and it stop at us. We want our children to take hold to it and teach their children, right? But if we're not building ourselves up as the parents, that's exactly what it's going to do. Read that.
Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
You see that? If we do our job as parents, it says that our children will not depart from it. And if they do, guess what? They might fall. They're going to come back because they understand that this is the way. This is the way. Keeping God's commandments is the only way. All right? Also, I know you want to say something. Go ahead.
I'm good. Go ahead. You good.
All right. I'll pray. Also, you want to say something? You're holding your mic. Go ahead. You want to get it out?
Hey, let him on, man. You know he got like 12 precepts
go ahead,
over there,
bro.
This got it. Come on, man.
I don't have 12 precepts.
Come on.
But I do have one.
All right, let's go.
Sirach 22. I want to go back to Sirach 22 and verse 4. Because when it was bringing up in verse 3, it says, an evil nurtured son is a dishonor to his father, right? That begot him. And then it goes down even into the daughter, and it reminded me of that video that we just watched. Watch this.
Sirach chapter 22 and verse 4.
Uh-huh.
A wise daughter shall bring an inheritance to her husband.
Uh-huh.
But she that liveth dishonestly is her father's heaviness.
Dishonestly. Hey. No. But hey, so the wise daughter that she bring an inheritance, that's going to bring an inheritance to her husband. But it said that she that liveth dishonestly is her father's heaviness. It's just like that right there. Well, how you think that dad feel knowing that his daughter got passed around 25 men? You understand? And even raising up your daughters in this truth, them not following through, that's a heaviness. They got some of these sisters, some of these daughters, these fathers can't get ready to get rid of.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
And they go even, read that next verse. Watch this.
Verse 5. She that is bold dishonoreth both her father and her husband, but they both shall despise her.
They both shall despise her. My dad didn't even talk to me like that.
Right.
You understand? And that in itself, that bold daughter is going to bring shame to that household. Right. That's why it's important that all these scriptures that we read in Proverbs 22, reading in Psalm 78, Deuteronomy 11, all of these things need to be implemented. Even like he's saying, putting the images around the house. All of these things play part in the nurturing of that child to set them right so that they won't depart from what you're teaching them, which is the nurturing under God's laws, like you went to in Ephesians.
Right. Yeah, because that even with that first part of that, read that again real quick, officer. The verse 3.
Verse 5?
Verse 4.
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
Sirach chapter 22 and verse 4. A wise daughter shall bring an inheritance to her husband.
So how she bring the inheritance to her husband? She bring her inheritance to her husband because the father left her. Saw she was fit to have an inheritance. So she gets that because why? She was obedient to her father. Come on! You know what I'm saying? This is probably the daughter that take instructions well. You know what? So the father's well pleased. The father leave an inheritance for her. She now gathered that inheritance that she got from her father and bring it now to her husband. That's what it's saying. It's showing you the correlation and the connection between a daughter and a father and a daughter and a husband. Meaning, if she don't respect her father, the first steps is having that respect for that father. And going along with these things, officers, like some of the men is here, they trying to set order in the household, and they getting a lot of pushback from these sisters. You know what I'm saying? So it's like sisters have to support the process that's being done with the fathers and getting the daughters in line, getting the children in line as far as keeping them away from the school system, keeping them out of the roadblocks, the iPads, all those things. It has to be a joint effort between both parents to make that happen.
That happens a lot of times. Brothers do get pushed back whenever they try to establish certain order in their house. You know, like that old saying, when the cat's away, the mouse come out and play. You see that a lot, all right? How much time we got? Got a couple minutes. Okay, get Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 26, because I know a lot of you sisters think that you know your children has a strong mind, or they're able to read that. Proverbs chapter 12, 26.
Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor.
It says the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor. Read.
But the way of the wicked seduceth them.
Read it again.
But the way of the wicked seduceth them.
So when you send your kids to those public schools, or you allow them to continue to be on those tablets and the iPads, the Xbox, stuff of that nature, it says the ways of the wicked seduces them. So guess what? They're going to be overthrown by that wickedness. That's what's going to happen. So you brothers and sisters got to take heed, because your children are not strong, because you're not that strong. All right? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 9. Did we read that one yet? Ready yet? Just go to Sirach 30. We're going to end it there, right there, Sirach 30.
You want to say something while you
go ahead.
And that's the thing too. It's like when it come down to it, sisters, y'all gotta keep in mind, like, that supporting your husband is very important.
Right.
And the thing is, what y'all don't realize is a lot of y'all take that position y'all have as a light thing. When in reality, you got to keep in mind that whole beginning path to that child's life until they reach adulthood, or your sons until they reach that age where they're going to be surrounded by their fathers, that's all you bringing them up in there.
Right.
You understand? Through the guidance that your husband is giving you to instruct your children, so that you don't have that heaviness. You don't sit there and your children walk out the door and you sitting there like, dang, I could have probably did something more to try to help. You don't want to live like that. You want to just establish how the forefathers and your foremothers moved in times of old and apply that until today.
Right.
And they took the order and instruction that was passed down to them, and guess what? They had praise in their children. Their children was profitable seed. They wasn't unprofitable children, and that's what you want.
Yep. All right, real quick. Let's go and run through Sirach 30 real quick. Sirach 30 and verse 1.
Sirach chapter 30 and verse 1. He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end.
That's what we want. We want to have joy in the end of our children. So it says, he that loveth the Lord causeth his son oft to fear the rod. Read it again.
He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod.
He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod. So you have to discipline your children. That's with the belt. On the side, like the scriptures say, read.
That he may have joy of him in the end.
Read.
He that chasteneth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance.
So you want to be able to have joy in your children amongst your acquaintances. Read.
He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy.
It says, he that teacheth his son, you teaching your son God's commandments, it grieves the enemies. Why? Because you left avenger. You left somebody like you that's going to continue to push this gospel. Read.
And before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, yet it is as though he were not dead. For he hath left one behind him that is like himself.
Read.
While he liveth, he saw and rejoiced in him. And when he died, he was not sorrowful.
Right. It says when this father or mother die, the son is not sorrowful. Or the father, the people around, they're not sorrowful. Why? Because it's like he never left. Because that son is just like his father. Is a mighty man teaching God's commandments, stuff of that nature. Jump down to verse 11.
Verse 11. Give him no liberty in his youth.
So this is the only way you have that joy in your child. When they're young, you don't give them liberty. You teach them God's commandments. You don't give them those iPads, those tablets, and leave them alone in their rooms, stuff of that nature. Because if not, you won't be able to have joy in them. They're going to be destroyed. They're going to be destroyed by Satan's devices. Read.
Give him no liberty in his youth, and wink not at his follies.
And don't be winking at your son's follies, because in the world, for example, you got a girlfriend in the world, your daddy be like, oh boy, you keep getting them. That was the world. That's how we did it in the world. Or your granddaddy, tell you some of his filthy stories, and you go try to live them out. Don't wink at your son's folly, your daughter's folly. Read.
Bow down his neck while he is young.
So we got to bow down our sons and daughters' neck while they're young. Read.
And beat him on the sides while he is a child. Least he wax stubborn.
Because if you don't correct that child, your child going to become stubborn. Your child going to become rebellious. Your child is going to hate God. Read.
And be disobedient unto thee. And so bring sorrow to thine heart.
Read.
Chastise thy son and hold him to labor, lest his lewd behavior be an offense unto thee.
So that's the part I wanted to get. I know we're about to close out. So instead of having your son, so the child is bored. So go play the game or go get on your iPad, go get on your tablet. No, the Bible says send him to labor. Take him outside, teach him how to cut the grass. Take him outside, teach him how to plant some greens or tomatoes or something. Teach him gardening. Teach him something. Because I know when I grew up, we couldn't stay in the house all day. We had to go outside and do something. We had to go outside and learn something. But that's the thing, not with this new generation. A lot of y'all just allow the entertainment world, the TV or the social media raise up your children. The Bible says send that child to labor. Read.
Chastise thy son and hold him to labor, lest his lewd behavior be an offense unto thee.
So his lewd behavior. So for example, like that 15-year-old little girl was in the bathroom getting having sex with 25 boys. That's the kind of stuff that happens when you don't train up your child in God's commandments. When you allow the outside world to have more influences on your child than you. That's that lewd behavior that's going to creep up in your house. You openly invite Satan in when you give your children these devices and allow them to be raised by those devices. So that's what happens. So don't be surprised, all right?
Across the earth, the prophets move. From city streets to distant lands, the message is the same. Israel must rise. Through every quest, every journey, the truth spreads. No border can contain it. No distance can silence it. Our nation lives in every moment. In joy, we celebrate marriages. In sorrow, we honor our dead. On the Sabbath, we gather as one. Families rejoicing together, bound by the commandments of God. Yet are we tried. From the stones in Kenya to the hatred in Montana, we endure as a soldier of the Lord. And still, the mission expands. On the airwaves, on the screens, in every nation under heaven, Israel's voice is heard. We build our communities. We raise our children in royalty. We restore what was broken. We clean what was defiled. We show the world who we are. This is Israel united in Christ. Nation in motion. Nation endures.